Hi guys, welcome back to J'adore ce monde. I love this word. I love this pen. I love everything and everyone in it. It's me, of course, Ashley. The fuck? I'm sorry. It is February 25th. I don't know what time it is, but we're here and I'm feeling good. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling amazing. I had me a matcha with some blonde espresso. Yeah, I'm drinking some water. I went to work. I made a little money. Yeah, I've been cleaning. I feel good. Also, I do accents. I'm so sorry. I might be a little but I want to talk about relationships. Oh my gosh, ew, ew. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not a relationship hater. I did just get out of a relationship though, and I have some hot takes. I kind of wanted to start with what I think a good relationship needs and has. You know what I mean? For me, a good relationship, and I don't have the best example. Okay, my parents are divorced. I haven't seen a good relationship without infidelity or in some type of shit. So it's hard for me to find it. But with the love I have in myself, I'm connected to myself because that's where love starts, babes. It starts with self. With me, it's self love is respect. It's knowing that you're valued, knowing what rooms deserve your value, um, and just loving yourself throughout all phases because everything is like it's like a clock. You're not always gonna be between 1 and 2. You might be between 6 and 7. But yeah, it's just kind of like accepting myself, loving myself. I've been through so fucking much. I've gone through so much intensity in my life just with myself where I wasn't safe to share with other people, or it was too much to share with other people. And it was like I've dealt with shame, I've dealt with embarrassment, I've dealt with guilt, I've dealt with everything. I've dealt with self-hate, I've dealt with insecurities, jealousy, like self-confidence, like low, like I've dealt with shit. So and I love myself throughout it all. And I love myself throughout it all, and I'm here now. I'm feeling great. And I'm here in a cut shirt with no barely any pants on. And just in front of y'all. And who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? I might have been like more subconscious and more nervous probably like a few months ago when I was in hell of a relationship. I'm just kidding, it wasn't that much hell, but on myself it was hell. And on my mind it was hell. On my body it was hell. Let's just not talk about it. We'll get into it. But yeah, I just feel like loving yourself through all the phases, it's hard. You have to learn. I'm still learning, but I do love myself. I love myself with my hair done. I love myself with my hair slicked back. I love myself with my hair curly. I love myself with my hair in a messy bun. Body not tea. Body always tea though, but like I have to love myself through other phases because I've changed so much, and we are all gonna change so much, and that changes me into the next, which is in a relationship. Um, I feel like I'm gonna talk about the things that haven't worked for me first. First of all, I'm gonna talk about the things that haven't worked for me because the relationship I was just in, I think, really altered me. I'm gonna go back one more though. I'm gonna go back to, well, first let me sum it up. I've had a bad, terrible relationship with men since the beginning. My father, throughout middle school, I went through hella traumatic stuff. Um, Men have always tried to use me. Men have always sexualized me. I sexualized myself. I had daddy issues. I was dealing with a lot. I was going through so much that as a child, I look back and I'm like looking at myself as a 13, 14-year-old child thinking, oh my God, I was going through so much and no one fucking knew. No one fucking knew. And maybe those who did know didn't understand it, the volume at which I could feel. You know what I mean? And I just haven't gotten a really good relationship. I went to high school. I was with this badass boy. He was very hood rat, very illegal on a hella shit, doing hella illegal shit, but paying for shit. But things got toxic, things got crazy. It took me a while to get out that relationship, and I always dreaded get out that relationship because I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna miss this person so much. I love this person so much. Immediately after I got out that relationship, I was perfectly fine. I was perfectly fine. I was so happy I made that decision. Even though it was like so much getting me to that point, when I made the decision, oh my gosh, I could feel like I knew before I went throughout that relationship that I was gonna have a spiritual awakening of babes. When I say relationships spark a flame in me, and every man that has did me wrong, just know you've sparked a new flame in me, because, or like not even done me wrong, because not every man has, but every experience sparks a flame in me. So after that, that's when all this became a thing. That's when the spirituality started getting there. I got more in touch with myself. I realized, oh my God, I'm worth so much, you know? Also, I'm just like a 18, 19-year-old girl being single, and I'm like, what can life offer me? At that point, I met some friends. I went to Texas State. I was out there having fun, having amazing experiences, but yet I had I had really bad experiences as well. I had one really traumatic experience, and it was like the first guy that I liked after being in a relationship. So I think that's what made it worse. But a lot of the shame, I felt a lot of shame, embarrassment, just like betrayal. Like it was like an abundant amount of all those negative emotions. And it also was like on my self worth, on my self value. It was just affecting me. Maybe I'll get into more of that story another time, but it's really too traumatic for me to share right now. I'll share it, but like with you guys, you know what I mean? But I think that had like shut me down. That had really shut me down and put me in a place where it was like I wasn't open to love at all. Love was not on my radar. At that point, I didn't even think I could fall in love. I didn't even think I could be in love. I didn't think it was worth it. I felt like, oh my God, like I'd rather just date and not to marry, but just date for the time and then like move on to the next person, date. Or just, if I want to have kids, I'll find someone that I like. And be like, hey, I just want to have your baby. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna travel the world with my kids. I'll look different, they're all beautiful, and all that stuff. Like that was my thought process. And I was just like, I could never be in a relationship. I could never be married. Like all in my head I expected was cheating, betrayal, any of that stuff. And I was like, how can you truly connect with the person? Because I see all these people connected with each other, but they're not each other's person. I can tell. I can tell. And then boom, 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 boom. All of a sudden, I meet this guy, and I'm just gonna name drop because who the fuck gives a fuck? Amir. His name was Amir. He um, so, he changed my perspective. Um, he was older than me, but he was about to graduate. I had just got into college. He was about to graduate, and he was from Ivory Coast. He was Lebanese. He literally had like 7, 6, 7 months left here in the States before his visa was up, before he graduated, before he was gonna leave. And I knew that, he knew that, we knew that. And we initially could feel the vibe. He was beautiful, y'all. He was sexy, beautiful, spoke French and Arabic, had a French African accent. It was everything. And if you know me, if it ain't foreign, then it's boring. What? Stop. But also this is my type. This is my type. But he treated me so well. And from the beginning, like we could tell we vibed with each other a lot. Like it was like we were really comfortable with each other. Um, and it was just like amazing. Our love languages were the same. We didn't spend too much time together. We didn't text a lot. Like for a time period, we weren't texting for like weeks or not hanging out. And then at a time period, it got really like more steady as things became natural. But things were naturally unfolding, and it was beautiful and amazing. And I knew he liked me, he knew I liked him, but he was very much like clear on the fact like I'm gonna be leaving soon, and I can't promise anything. And I was like, you know what, that's fine. I just want to enjoy this time with you. It feels natural. It feels unnatural to not hang out or not, you know, be with each other. So I was there, and leading up from summer to his graduation, things accelerated between us, and between that 6 months span, I feel like I was like I could have been with that person. Like I felt love. It was like not forced love. It wasn't like I'm looking for love. It was like the more we hang out, the more we do stuff, the more we bond, the more we go eat, and it's like go out. Like he would take me on dates, y'all. I'm like thinking about it. Like he had money too, and we're gonna get into that because that's like a repeated cycle. I think because my Venus is in the second house, Venus and Leo in the second house. I'm very like, and people love to take care of me, and I really appreciate that. You know what I mean? But we would just do extravagant stuff together, and not even just extravagant stuff, but just relaxing together. The way I got my like he loved my cat. He loved my cat Kilu the way I loved him. Like Kilo, and like it was like we were taking care of Kilo, and he was like proud to see Kilo and bring Kilo over. It was just like everything. It was just everything, and I loved it. But it came to the point where, of course, boom, his graduation comes. Boom, I'm like his woman. I'm like his woman at this point without a label, and it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was probably the best like unfolding of things that could happen. But in reality, in the back of my head, I'm like, as beautiful as this is, I know this is not gonna last. Like this feeling and this like bliss and this feeling of like, I love you, you know? Like he told me I love you. And I was like, I love you too. And like it wasn't like I want you to be like this, like I want to be like this. Like he was very upfront with how he felt. He was like, hey, like I could be with other people, but I don't want to be because I want to be with you know, and I love you, you know? And like people talk about this, but like, and it gets me heated, even that they think like that of you. And I'm like, he was just so sweet. A month after his graduation, he flew back, and I'm telling you, that day was the most emotional day. Even though we cried at the end. It was emotional day just seeing him saying goodbye to everyone, and then me being the last person he said goodbye to. I think that was fucking crazy. I think that was fucking crazy. And after that, guys, I was in shambles. I was in shambles because yeah, like I didn't believe in love. I got love given to me just like willingly, wanting to, and then that person had to leave, you know? And like the reality is that we couldn't be together. You know, they were much older. They graduated. He was going to run his father's business type, and I was here still in school. You know, I took French, by the way. He helped me with French. Je parle un peu français, but we'll get into that more. And I kind of want to get some more in this podcast. But yeah, it was really hard. And it was hard for like, it happened like 2023 was a hard year. I was actually going on study abroad that year, and we were supposed to meet in Europe. And we would talk here and there. But of course, like, I wanted more. I wanted more because it was like, you know, I really want to be with this person, but obviously time difference, everything different. It was just like we both knew he made it very upfront, like this is gonna be hard, and like I don't know if I can do that with everything I have to go through. And now that I went through some shit, I understand that it's gonna kind of like reflect on my next relationship because I was like struggling with that person for a long time, and it was kind of like it was here and go, come and go. Some days it would hit me more intensely, but towards the end of that, before I met my ex, um, I don't know if I want to name drop for this one, but I was like thinking about that person just because I was thinking about the love that they would give me. Like I had never felt that way, and then I got in this relationship. Oh, this relationship took me on a fucking whirl, yeah. Because the way everything aligned at the beginning was like beautifully, like perfectly. Like the way we met was very organic. Literally at my job at a window, it was very cute. The vibes were immaculate. The way we could the banter we would have, the way we could relax around each other, the way we could laugh with like each other, and like just be with each other, like the intimacy, like all that was there. He was very understanding, very like emotionally there, and that's why I really like. I'm an emotional person. I have a Mars in the first house. No, yeah, first house in Cancer. So, and he was a Cancer, so it just very much clicked, and the way we loved click in an emotional way. And also, he was very upfront. Like he was very, you know, he like showed that I was his woman. He like carried with that way. He treated me very well, like treated me like why, like very loyal, very loving, very like with me, and like oh, I loved it. I loved it when it was like that, but it one changed. It one switched to a different vibe from understanding to like confusion and conflict. But before that, even in the midst of everything, at the beginning to end, it was always drama with people. It was always drama in his fucking town. It was drama with his ex. It was drama with all these people, all these people, all these people. I'm putting emphasis on all these people because San Marcos is a very small town if you take all the kids, like college kids out. Okay. Okay, okay. Not Not to shade you guys, but fuck San Marcos, okay? Y'all weirdos to me. Not all of y'all, but a majority. Y'all are really cool though. Very hippity dippity, but just not my vibe. Not my vibe. Not my vibe because I'm trying to go places, babes. Like I can really go on a fucking rant when it comes to that town. But girl, where was I? But it was just always drama, and it was always like insecurities being poked at. Like dealing with his ex was like a big thing. Like that bitch did not. She steadied on for like the majority of her, like already more than half of our relationship. She steadied on, and she was not the type of bitch to let go. Okay, she was holding on for dear life. Um, and it was just like a lot of that going on, just like a lot of insecurities from like other people he's been with that I knew, and because it was such a small town, I know so many people. I was already there previous to that relationship for like 3 years, so I already knew a lot of people. I worked at Twin Peaks out there, like I knew all the bad bitches, and plus, you know what I mean. And it was just a lot, and it got to me. It got to me. It got to myself like image because I didn't look like anybody he looked like before. It got to my like self love because I was just like I'm comparing myself. I'm being very self critical. My confidence was low, and I feel like in those times like I was trying to make sure I kept my bad bitch front on when in reality I'm always a bad bitch if I'm looking good if I'm not okay. But at that time I was just like damn like yes, he's still treating me right. Yes, he's still doing all this, but there's a lot of shady shit in the fucking back, yeah? And I believed in love. I came from this very loving relationship where I didn't have to ask for too much. They would just give it to me freely. And also, we weren't invasive in our business. And this relationship was very invasive in our business. So everything that was going on with him, I knew about. Everything that was going on with me, I knew he knew about. So it just caused a lot of conflict, confusion, insecurities, and all that. I would never recommend that, okay? And I will never do that again. Trust. But eventually, oh God, wait. Eventually, a lot of resentment build up and a lot of feelings build up, and my subconscious would reflect, and that's how you know that shit not good. Okay, when your conscious reflect all the bad shit, I would have bad dreams about him doing me dirty or something happening, and like it always connected to a situation in real life. So I had things to connect it to, and by the time I would bring this up a lot, and it would be a problem a lot, and he'd be having to give me reassurance a lot, which I'm not saying that was his job, but in the day, because he was responsible for putting me through that, having his business rub off on me, yeah, it's your business to make me feel better, to be honest. And at a point, he didn't want to do that. At a point, he got frustrated. At a point, he wouldn't talk to me correctly, and it would go and fall into other ways where he wouldn't talk to me incorrectly, or he would make me feel bad for going out, or he would make me feel bad for all this shit that I'm just doing naturally, just doing me. And then I'm here in a town. I graduated. We lived together. Which, not saying all of it was bad, and I'm not even saying the whole relationship was bad, but there was definitely some bad parts. Okay, and towards the end, it got really bad, really bad. But and I'm like speaking of it so oofly, just because that person did me wrong at the very end. You know what I mean? Did me wrong throughout in the way of like verbally abusing me, emotionally abusing me, like not being there for me emotionally, but wanting me to be there for them on command all the time and talk to them like they're a little fucking baby type shit. Are like not giving them any accountability. That's what I would say. Because you know what I mean? When a child, you can tell when a person babies their kids when they do something wrong, they're, oh, I'm sorry, it's okay. Versus they do something wrong, be like, you need to stop the fuck you doing type shit. And that was the shit that I was raised with. So the way I speak to other people is like that. And the way we communicate was off. And I could just say so many things on where we weren't compatible. I could say we were also very compatible in the way we loved and the way we wanted to feel like somebody was there for you and like cook with you and do all these like leisurely things with you and have a good time. Like it wasn't all bad, but yeah, that person ended up not talking to me correctly, and that made and with me being there, being in a relationship, not having all this shit, school, just graduated, not having a job, having a hard time, blah, 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 plus the relationship, babes, I had to come back home. I'm back home here, Houston. Because yeah, no. Um, and for me, that just showed me, and like for me now to be like, okay, I just blocked this person. I've just kind of like put that wall up there. Not even a wall where I'm like, it's gonna come down one day. I'm like, I'm kind of just putting on Like you're just in this part of my life. You're between 1 and 2. You know what I mean? 1 and 2. I'm already over here on 4 or 5. Okay, we're gay. So kind of kept keeping that separate. But I feel like relationships are tricky. Relationships are hard. But you shouldn't have to go through all this hardship and trickiness and all this stuff if it doesn't feel natural. And when it doesn't feel natural, in my opinion, I don't think you should be with the person. You know, I want to be, if I'm getting a relationship, I'm serious about the relationship. I'm like, I genuinely love this person. I genuinely see myself in this person on a soul level. I see this person as a soul. You know what I mean? It's not, and they see me. And never ever will I be in a relationship just to be in a relationship. Like I will only get into it if I actually see what God is telling me. Like if God brings me to you, if I'm attracted to you, if I'm like, if everything feels like we're still in this moment, I will do it. And I'll do it either for a learning purpose or a loving purpose, babes. Everything's loving though. Everything's loving. But I don't know. It's just like also I just won't do that. I just won't get into a relationship just because I feel like in order for a relationship to be good, it needs to feel natural. It needs to feel like, okay, well, yes, we might have some disagreements and yes, we might have some day to day challenges, but at least we can talk about it and talk to each other in a respectful way. Or at least we can, like, know we need our space and come back to it and hug it out. And or let me do this for them because I know that makes them feel good. Like knowing how to love each other, how to love each other. I think that's very important. And if you don't know how to love a person who can't deal with hearing about all this shit over and over again, but that's all they talk about, just get rid. Just get rid. Because it's like, okay, you need someone that's gonna match you. You need to be selfish in the way someone's gonna match you. But I feel like a lot of people stay with people thinking like, okay, all relationships are hard work, yes, but it shouldn't be this hard. It shouldn't be this hard to be with the person. I feel like when people stay in a relationship that's like not compatible, your values are different, the way you communicate is different, handle situations, process emotions are different. I just don't I just don't agree with being in a relationship. I think it's more work than needed, and in our life right now, especially at the young age of 23, I don't want to be putting all my energy into a relationship as if I don't have a whole life to build for myself. You know what I mean? I think people need to start thinking about that and thinking about the life they need to build. And if that person's not helping them build that, that's where I feel like it's not worth it. But if they are genuinely like loving you, giving you space to be, grow, take up space, also taking up space in their own way, but also like balancing things out, letting you get your shit done, but letting y'all have that time together or have that alone time, not making you feel guilty, like but they're also like elevating you on your purpose and knowing what they can do to help you and you can do to help them as well, get to like where you're supposed to be. I feel like that's a loving, beautiful, amazing relationship. And when it's natural, a nice relationship, when you're just elevating an emotion and feeling like amazing. But you really got to think like, is this person my person? You know what I mean? Because they're your person. First of all, your person is going to be in many people, friends, family, relationships, any and all that. But to find like your person, you got to continue the search. You can't stop at the first one and be like, yep, this must be him. Like, no. And it's not even a way to like be dissatisfied with your relationship. If you know you're in that good relationship, be in that relationship. Because once we all get there, that's what the step we will take. But until then, babes, until then, love yourself, pour into yourself, learn about yourself, travel with yourself, see yourself in different situations, be uncomfortable with the change that life is. Because, babes, if everything's changing with you, you're changing with yourself and with what you're experiencing and going through. You have to understand who you are in those moments. People around you got to understand who you are in those moments, and they have to accept you. And it starts with self. You have to accept yourself, and then have the people around you accept you for exactly what you are. And that's real love. At the end of the day, that's real love. Just letting something be. You know what I mean? Even with nature, loving nature is letting nature be, not mowing out a fucking lot just to make some fucking apartments or like make some fucking, like no, actually being with nature, like building around nature if that's the case. But love is so much to me. Honestly, it makes me emotional. It makes me feel like giddy inside just because I'm like, I don't know, I just has taken so much for me to love myself. And I know that everyone's on different journeys and everyone's trying to get there and find themselves, but I just encourage you to continue that search. Continue that search for love within yourself. Continue that search for love without outside of you, the people, friends, family, tribe, like relationships. Continue that search for the people who are actually meant for you, because you'll steady being with people who aren't, and then you find that person you do, and you're like, where have you been and why have I dealt with this? You know what I mean? Oh, just beautiful. I love you guys so much. So, so much. And this is just my like perspective on my story on relationships, kind of in like a little scheme, a little 25 minutes, and just speaking on relationships on the outside and like what you shouldn't deal with. You shouldn't deal with people who make you feel like you'll be something you're not. If you can't just be who you are, rid it, because God is good. God's gonna have you experience those things so you can choose yourself. And baby, always choose yourself, please. I promise you, it's amazing. You feel so good after. You might feel sad at moments. You might feel depressed because, oh my God, I'm not with the person I thought I would be, or I'm not doing the things I'm meant to be in relationships. But babes, that door is never shut. We shut a lot of doors in our minds, and we shut a lot of experiences and opportunities in our minds before it can even happen. Just allow it to happen. Allow yourself to purge it out. Allow yourself to rid yourself and separate yourself from something that you used to be, and change and alter and accept yourself where you are. I love y'all so much. Ciao.